Have you ever felt that the future is not approaching you, but calling your name? In the very first breath of this journey, I want you to feel something awakening inside you, something ancient, something electric, something that has been quietly waiting for the exact moment you pressed play. Because what you are about to hear does not speak only to your mind, it speaks to your spirit, your purpose, your unseen potential. Today we enter a frequency that reshapes destinies. The frequency of Aquarius, the bearer of possibility, the guardian of awakening, the keeper of the spark that ignites revolutions in the visible world and in the invisible one. Stay with me until the very end, because one single insight may shift the entire direction of your path. Take a slow breath and imagine this: a sky stretching endlessly across time, a distant hum vibrating beneath everything you know. And within that hum, a pattern, a code, a whisper that does not come from the world you walk through every day, but from the world that is still becoming. Aquarius energy is not just an astrological symbol. It is a living stream of consciousness that arrives like a storm made of clarity and liberation. It arrives to lift you, to challenge you, to awaken you. And if you feel something stirring inside you now, it is because this energy recognizes you. It sees the part of your soul that refuses to fit into places that no longer support your growth. There is a reason why so many people who resonate with Aquarius feel out of place in their early years. Not lost, not broken, simply tuned to a future that others cannot sense yet. This energy belongs to the innovators, the intuitive thinkers, the quietly rebellious spirits who question what everyone else accepts as truth. It belongs to those who feel that their mission did not begin in this lifetime but has been unfolding across many cycles of existence. When Aquarius touches your life, nothing outdated can remain. It clears away illusions the same way a storm clears the air. It makes you remember who you are before the world told you who to be. And as we step into the heart of this narrative together, allow yourself to feel the shift. You are not here by coincidence. You are not listening by accident. Something in you is ready for expansion, ready for awakening, ready to stand in the light of your own originality. Aquarius energy moves through people who carry a seed of transformation. It activates purpose. It reveals truth. It unlocks paths that once felt impossible. You may feel a magnetic pull toward the unknown, toward freedom, toward authenticity. That is not fear. That is your soul recognizing its next chapter. Now, prepare yourself as we move deeper into the essence of this cosmic force. The doorway is open. The energy is rising. The future you have sensed for so long is beginning to breathe in your direction. Let your intuition lean forward. Let your heart listen. Let your mind soften its control. What comes next holds the power to illuminate the parts of you that have been waiting in silence. Before we continue, leave a comment with the words, "I open myself to my purpose," if you feel this energy resonating within you. Aquarius energy is not something you simply learn about. It is something you feel, something that awakens in the quiet corners of your awareness, something that stands just beyond the ordinary world and calls you forward. Imagine sitting across from someone who carries a spark in their eyes, a spark that tells you they were never meant to walk the worn paths of everyone else. That is the nature of Aquarius energy. It is the pulse of innovation, the breath of change, the invisible current that reminds you that life is far more expansive than you have been taught to believe. When you connect with this energy, you begin to sense that your purpose is not passively given but actively discovered, shaped through bold curiosity and the willingness to question everything that feels too small for your soul. This energy does not arrive gently. It arrives like a sudden clarity, a fresh wind that clears away anything pretending to be truth. Aquarius teaches that there is always a bigger picture, and that the world you see is only one layer of a much larger design. It holds the courage to stand alone, not out of pride, but because authenticity requires space to breathe. And when you sit with this energy for more than a moment, you begin to feel its invitation. It says, remember who you are beyond the expectations of others. Remember the inner voice that refused to be silenced even when you were young. Remember the dreams that felt too large for the room you were in. Aquarius energy restores that voice. There is a reason why people who carry strong Aquarius influence feel different from the earliest years of their lives. They are wired in a way that senses potential long before others recognize it. They see connections others overlook. They feel truths that cannot be explained with simple logic. This is not arrogance. It is not rebellion for the sake of defiance. It is a profound sensitivity to frequency, to patterns, to the deeper rhythm of existence. The core of Aquarian power is the ability to perceive possibilities that do not yet exist in the physical world, but are already alive in the inner one. Aquarius energy is also the architect of what many people call divine disruption. It has no interest in maintaining a system that limits growth or suppresses individuality. Instead, it shakes the structures that are ready to fall and illuminates pathways that can lead to collective elevation. This is why Aquarius energy often feels rare. Not because it is unavailable, but because few people are prepared to carry its intensity. It demands courage, honesty, and a willingness to walk the road that others cannot yet imagine. When this energy enters your life, even if only for a season, you feel it instantly. It is like stepping out of a dimly lit room into a sunrise that does not ask for permission to shine. Aquarius energy brings change in a way that is both startling and liberating. You may find yourself questioning your commitments, your relationships, your habits, your identity itself. Not because something is wrong with your current life, but because something inside you is calling for expansion. Aquarius shows you that comfort can sometimes be a quiet cage. And this transformation does not happen slowly. It often arrives through moments that feel destined, unexpected conversations, surprising realizations, and the sudden awareness that you cannot fit back into the version of yourself that existed only moments before. Aquarius energy is the spiritual reboot, the awakening of potential, the recognition that you are capable of far more than you once believed. Some people resist this shift, fearing the unknown. Yet those who lean into it find that their path becomes clearer, their purpose sharper, and their inner truth unmistakably louder. Now picture this. The world is shifting, and you feel it in the collective air, in conversations around you, in the way people question what once seemed unshakable. Aquarius energy plays a central role in these global transformations. It is the spirit of innovation, the rise of new voices, the collapse of outdated systems, and the birth of ideas that once felt impossible. This energy encourages communities to form not from fear or obligation, but from shared purpose and shared vision. Aquarius guides humanity toward the next stage of its evolution. In American culture, where individuality and freedom hold a significant place in the collective psyche, this energy expresses itself through movements that challenge the old and uplift the new. The rise of creative technology, modern spirituality, unconventional leadership, and communities rooted in authenticity are all reflections of Aquarian influence. It is an energy that refuses stagnation and insists on progression for the sake of the whole. Within modern astrology, Aquarius represents the visionary, the thinker who does not accept limits simply because they exist. It is the sign that sees the world as it is, yet feels the pull of what it could become. Psychological astrology deepens this understanding by showing Aquarius as the gateway to individuation. It is the inner journey of peeling away every layer that was placed upon you by society, by family, by expectation, until only your truth remains. There is both vulnerability and extraordinary power in this process. In evolutionary astrology, Aquarius is connected to karmic release and the liberation of the soul from old patterns. It is the sign that urges you to separate from the past so you can move toward a higher expression of your destiny. There is a spiritual intelligence woven into this energy, a recognition that growth sometimes requires stepping away from what is familiar. Aquarius does not promise ease, but it promises awakening. And for those who feel called to elevate, That promise is enough to transform everything. When we step into the territory of Aquarius, we must acknowledge that every powerful energy carries both shadow and illumination, and this sign is no exception. Imagine sitting with someone who carries an extraordinary mind, a mind that sees patterns no one else notices, yet at times struggles to feel understood. That is the Aquarian shadow. It is the echo of emotional distance, the quiet fear that vulnerability might disrupt their clarity, the instinct to retreat into thought instead of stepping into feeling. This shadow does not exist to punish. It exists to teach. It reveals the moments when brilliance needs grounding and when independence quietly becomes isolation. Yet the light of Aquarius is as remarkable as its challenges. It arrives with unmistakable clarity, a sense of purpose that seems to descend from a higher place, and an ability to perceive truths that others have yet to grasp. Aquarius brings the courage to stand apart, not from arrogance, but from an alignment so sincere that conformity becomes impossible. The light of this sign is found in liberation, in authenticity, and in the unwavering belief that humanity can evolve into something greater. Aquarius reminds us that transformation is possible when one person dares to see beyond the limits of the present moment. When Aquarius energy enters your life on a personal level, it does not simply adjust a few details. It rewrites the tone of your inner experience. It is like a gentle yet unmistakable force that taps your shoulder and says, "Look again. You have not even begun to understand your potential." People often describe this shift as a sudden awareness that the life they are living no longer reflects the truth of who they are becoming. Your interests begin to evolve, your creative impulses grow stronger, and your tolerance for anything that restricts your growth begins to vanish. You might notice that your intuition sharpens during this period. Ideas appear out of nowhere. Possibilities unfold like pages turning in a book you did not realize you were reading, and you begin to see pathways where previously there were only walls. Aquarius energy does not simply guide you. It awakens parts of you that have been waiting to rise. It brings the recognition that freedom is not a luxury. It is a necessity for your spirit. Once this awareness takes hold, you cannot return to old versions of yourself. Expansion becomes instinct, purpose becomes obvious, and authenticity becomes the only direction forward. Now imagine stepping back and looking at the collective from a wider viewpoint. When Aquarius energy influences a generation, a movement, or a period of time, the world itself begins to shift. We see revolutions in thought, breakthroughs in science and technology, unconventional forms of leadership, and new expressions of community that prioritize purpose over conformity. This influence can feel disruptive because it does not preserve structures that limit evolution. Instead, it calls for reform, for reconstruction, for the courageous decision to dismantle what no longer serves the collective good. In American culture, which often prizes innovation and independence, Aquarius energy amplifies the desire for progress. It shows up in cultural renaissances, in creative breakthroughs, in social movements that challenge outdated norms, and in the rise of communities that are woven together by shared values rather than tradition. Aquarius energy never moves backward. It moves forward with intention. It pulls the future into the present and encourages society to build a world that reflects fairness, vision, and awakening. Take a gentle breath as we pause and integrate what we have uncovered so far. Imagine a wide open space, a sky without boundaries, and a quiet hum of energy that surrounds you like a shimmering field. This is the Aquarian realm. You are not separate from it. You are connected to this frequency more deeply than you realize. Allow your mind to soften for a moment as you picture a radiant blue light rising around you. This light does not demand attention. It invites your awareness gently, as if whispering that growth is not only possible, but already unfolding. Feel the clarity of this energy. Feel the way it cleanses the air around your thoughts and reveals the insights that have been waiting beneath the noise of daily life. You may sense a calm awakening, a recognition that your next chapter is ready to emerge. This meditative moment is not about stillness alone. It is about opening yourself to the future that is already leaning in your direction. Let the energy hold you. Let it remind you that change can be graceful, even when it feels unexpected. You are safe in this unfolding. To those who carry the Aquarian essence within them, whether through your sun, your moon, your rising sign, or even through a strong resonance that defies explanation, this message is for you. You were never meant to blend into the background. You were born with a spirit that sees beyond the limitations of your surroundings, a mind that questions what others accept, and a heart that recognizes truth even when it has not yet been spoken aloud. There is a reason why you often feel different. That difference is not a flaw. It is your calling. Your presence carries a vibration that others can sense even when they do not fully understand it. You bring clarity to confusion, possibility to stagnation, and innovation to the places where imagination once felt limited. Do not shrink yourself to avoid misunderstanding. Do not dim your intuition to make others comfortable. The world needs the very qualities that once made you doubt your belonging. Your uniqueness is the gateway through which your purpose flows. You were not designed to follow the world. You were designed to reshape it. There comes a moment in every journey when the energy shifts into something gentle, yet unmistakably powerful, and that is exactly where we are now. Imagine sitting across from someone who genuinely sees the potential within you, someone who speaks not to your fears but to the strength you sometimes forget you already possess. That is the tone of this moment. Aquarius energy is vast, brilliant, and revolutionary, but it is also compassionate. It knows that transformation is not simply an act of intellect. It is an act of courage, of faith, and of allowing your soul to rise even when the world around you has not yet caught up. This invitation forward is not a demand. It is a reminder that you are worthy of the expansion you feel inside you. I want you to picture yourself standing at the threshold of a doorway that has been waiting for you for a very long time. On one side is everything familiar, everything predictable, everything that has shaped who you used to be. On the other side is possibility. It is the version of your life that aligns with your intuition, your independence, your creative mind, and the quiet strength that you carry even when you do not fully acknowledge it. Aquarius energy is the gentle nudge that encourages you to step through that doorway with confidence. It does not promise perfection, but it promises authenticity, and that is infinitely more meaningful. In American culture, where so many people feel pressured to fit into specific paths or identities, Aquarius rises as a breath of freedom. It tells you that your truth is not too much, that your dreams are not unrealistic, and that your desire to live with clarity and purpose is a sign of awakening rather than rebellion. This energy wants you to trust the pulse of your own inner guidance. It wants you to believe that the future is not a distant place you will eventually reach. It is a reality you are already shaping with every choice born from courage. And so this part of the journey becomes deeply personal. It becomes a sacred conversation between your present self and the self you are growing into. It is an acknowledgement of your strength, your intuition, your resilience, and your desire for a life that reflects something more than routine. Aquarius energy honors that desire. It amplifies it. It reminds you that your individuality is not a barrier to connection but a bridge to the people and the experiences that truly resonate with your spirit. Let this moment settle into you. Feel the gentle assurance that you are moving towards something greater than what you have known. Feel the quiet encouragement that surrounds you, the sense that the universe supports your unfolding. Part 11 is not just a message. It is a mirror reflecting the possibility that has lived within you since the very beginning. There is a moment at the end of every profound journey when the soul pauses, not to turn back, but to absorb the immensity of what has just unfolded. Let yourself feel that moment now. Allow yourself to breathe into the realization that everything you have heard, everything you have felt, and everything that stirred within you throughout this experience was not simply information. It was recognition. It was remembrance. Aquarius energy works in this mysterious way, awakening what has been dormant, igniting what has been waiting, and reminding you that your inner world is far more expansive and extraordinary than the physical world ever taught you to believe. You are not at the end of a path. You are standing at the threshold of a new one, illuminated by the clarity that Aquarius has brought to your vision and to your spirit. When you reflect on the themes that shaped our journey, you may notice a quiet truth rising inside you. You were never meant to move through life in a straight line. You were never meant to silence your originality or dim the brilliance of your intuition. The very essence of Aquarius teaches that evolution is not a process reserved for grand historical shifts. Evolution begins within one single person who decides that their truth is worth honoring. One person who decides that their dreams are worthy of respect. One person who understands that their energy, their insight, and their presence can create waves far beyond what the eye can see. And that person, right now, is you. Take a moment to imagine the future stretching ahead of you, not as a distant landscape shaped by chance, but as a living canvas awaiting your touch. Aquarius energy invites you to step into that future with confidence, with curiosity, and with the unwavering belief that your voice matters. It tells you that every new beginning requires courage, and you already carry that courage in your heart. It tells you that every transformation begins with a single thought, a single choice, a single spark of willingness to step into the unknown. And you have shown that willingness simply by being here, by listening, by trusting the pull of your inner compass. As you move forward, remember this: you are part of a collective awakening, a shift happening across the country and across the world, where more and more people are choosing awareness over autopilot, authenticity over conformity, connection over fear. You are not alone in your search for meaning, in your desire to live a life that reflects your soul, instead of expectations placed upon you. Aquarius energy connects you to this greater movement, this invisible network of individuals who are ready to rise, ready to contribute, ready to create. Together, you shape a new era, one choice at a time. So let this closing be both a blessing and a reminder. You are capable of extraordinary transformation. You are worthy of the future you imagine. You are guided by an inner wisdom that grows louder every time you choose to trust it. And from this moment onward, may you walk with the certainty that the universe never plants a vision within you that you are not meant to fulfill. Carry your truth with pride. Carry your intuition with reverence. Carry your light with confidence. Because the world does not need a quieter version of you. The world needs the brilliance that only you can bring. Thank you for sharing this journey, for opening your mind, for opening your spirit, and for allowing this Aquarian energy to move through you with such depth and sincerity. And now, if your heart feels aligned with this message, I invite you to continue exploring, to continue awakening, and to continue expanding by watching the other videos on this channel. Your path is only beginning, and there is so much more waiting for you.